Hi, my name is Nathan, and today we're going to do a comic book review of Star Wars Crimson Reign, issue number 5, brought to you by RatedComics. Let's get to it. We begin this issue in the Coruscant Imperial Palace. Palpatine is talking to Lord Vader, talking about, there's something clear going on here. Considering the most recent events of what's been going on in the previous issues 1, 2, 3, and 4, it is clear that we have an enemy. And Lord Vader's like, man, we have many enemies, Master. No, given what happened with the Hutt Council, given what happened to Commander Zara's Hunter Fleet and her failure to eradicate the Rebel Alliance, I believe that's a callback to issue number 1, and the issue with the Screaming Key that was stolen from your fortress on Mustafar, your own stronghold by the Knights of Ren, weaklings who can barely use the dark side, and yet somehow they were brazen enough to attack you directly. It's no coincidence we're being attacked head on and someone's behind it. So Sith Palpatine calls in Director Barsha. Director Barsha comes in, humbly tells his speech that, hey, given what's been going on, this was having my division, given my intel and security, the rumor persists that the leadership level that you guys are displeased with after the Hutts are attacked, and all this that's going on with Jabba the Hutt and everything, my source tells me the rumor or the reasons for the syndicates being at war is because of the Crimson Dawn. And they know Lady Qi'ra is behind it. So meanwhile in the Vermilion, Margot tells Qi'ra that, hey, our contacts within the Imperial Security Bureau are telling me that they're putting all this together, the Sith is putting all this together. If they don't know already who caused all the attacks, they will. So Qi'ra's like, okay, we got to prepare preparations for the next phase and inform Trinity and move the people to a various staging points. So they move on. Qi'ra tells Margot it'll all be worth it, I promise. And Margot's like, it's already been worth it. I'll do it all over again. So they give each other a hug and they continue on with their plan. So Qi'ra goes to Archivist like, hey, do you know what you need to do? Everything depends on you. Are you ready? And Archivist like, hey man, I'm as ready as I'm gonna get. So find the truth. Here's the key. I'll send the Knights of Ren with you. They can handle anything you might run into. Things are gonna happen very quickly now in Cordelia. So all this is gonna go down. Archivist, go do your thing. And it's not clear what the plan is until later in the panel. But Qi'ra talks to Cordelia. And she tells Cordelia, I think you and I might not know each other, so we're going to get a chance to know each other about you and about me. And Qi'ra is going to go into that. So now that Lord Vader is informed that Crimson Dawn orchestrated the Syndicate War and the other attacks, he wants to make sure that Sith Palpatine is aware of this. Like, not aware, but is he certain of this? And he's like, yes. And Sith Palpatine reminds Darth Vader, you met Qi'ra when you at that ship in Star Wars War of the Bounty Hunter, I believe it was issue 3 or 4, when Lady Qi'ra was offering Han Solo to the highest bidder. He's like, yes, I remember that. And Sith is like, of course, that's your failure. Her name, what's her name? So Lord Vader, once he knows that it's Lady Qi'ra, he goes into a little monologue of, hey, she's a foolish woman that challenged me to a duel to prevent me from taking Solo. We fought. Her skill was not really a true threat, but notable that she was trained by the Terakasi. And Palpatine is like, she studied techniques used to fight the Force wielders. Few in this time are aware of the Terakasi's existence, much less able to use it. Yes, and that is not all. She had training beyond the Terakasi's, tactics and techniques echoing those I have not seen. And another, says Darth Vader. And then Palpatine's like, based on her fighting style, does it remind you of one of the Jedis you destroyed during the Purge? And Lord Vader's like, no, it's not, it doesn't remind me of that. Her fighting style reminds me of yours. And Palpatine's like, yo, you making an accusation? Nah, man, just an observation. And he's like, I didn't train that woman, but perhaps one of our own did. And they come to the conclusion it was Maul who trained her, which he does admit in issue number 1. So back to what the Archivists and the Knights of Ren are doing. They go to this place that's not being discovered thousands of years. Whatever it is, I don't know what it is. I'm an average Star Wars fan, and I can tell you right now, I don't know what it is, but it is intriguing. And Archivist tells them, according to the accountants, the chambers need to be activated before we can lock in the Screaming Key. And they're like, we don't want to activate that. I mean, do we even want to wake these things up? And Ren is like, look, you couldn't have said it better myself, but if this is for Qi'ra's cause and for the cause, we're down for the cause, so what do you need us to do? So she's like, well, it's unclear, but my best guess is for you to touch the Screaming Key with the dark side. I can sense the Force, but I can't use it. It has to be one of you. So Ren is like, okay, we picked it up, the little shaky shake thing, and what's supposed to happen? Well, guess what? That little shaky shake thing with the key wakes up these things, and it's all out pandemonium. They don't know what to expect, but they know it is not good. So Qi'ra talks to Cordelia and tells her, you are heir to 2 syndicates, the Mourner's Well and the Unbroken. By themselves, they're both small, but together they form quite a bit of potential and quite formidable. And she's like, I know my story. What's your point? Kira's like, my point is that I too was born into this life. But why while you grew up with the pedigree and inheritance, I did not. And we see a flashback of Lady Qi'ra, getting manhandled or woman-handled by Lady Proxima. She called them scum rats. Back on Cordelia, children taken by the gang doing the boss's bidding grew up in that world. Her crew was the White Worms. She started with nothing, but she had to be smarter and deadlier and faster and more seductive and more ruthless and colder than anyone else. And on the way up, the further she went, the more people she faced. And on those people, they were really as good as her. It never got easier. It only got harder. So did Qi'ra. The central principle to running a criminal syndicate is to trust no one. If you find yourself relying on someone's trust, you failed. Every interaction Qi'ra goes into her mindset when she goes into these interactions with other Knights of Ren and the people to get her to do her bidding. She says, every interaction I have is a transaction. I give the other person something or threaten to take something away, then they do what I want. I don't want to hope people will do what I require. I need to ensure they have no choice. It sounds exhausting, says Cordelia, but you know what? What about Margot? You guys seem so close. She'll do anything for you. Well, we fought 3 different times. The first time she tried to kill me. She tried to take it as weakness on my part. The second time she tried to kill Qi'ra. She saw it as contempt. But the third time, Qi'ra realized and Margot realized the value that Margot brought, and she gave her that value. So that's why Margot does whatever she wants. So now an emergency transmission comes in, and they're all the same thing. Alerts have gone out across the entire fleet in the galaxy that the Crimson Dawn are high priority, and their time has just ran out, and all eyes are going to be on them. And guess what? Cordelia has to go with Trinia to keep her safe. But the Empire, what are you going to do, says Cordelia? The same thing I've always done, whatever I have to do. Apparently, Qi'ra has already planned for this. So as they make a run in this panel away from these monsters, they got to find something. And guess what? They're going to die here. One person already died because of the Archivist's death, and it's Basra. And the Knights of Ren like, her death is on you. I didn't want her to die, but you know what? I'm done taking these lives and sacrificing lives for Lady Qi'ra. So you got to do your thing and do it now. And Archivist is like, well, hold them off. This shouldn't take too long. Hold them off. Man, if you don't do this quick, I'm going to feed you to them to buy some more time to get the hell up out of here. So she goes in and she's fascinated by what she sees inside. And when she sees what she sees inside, she uses the key to whatever socket or whatnot, and it is triggered at that point. What is it trigger? I still don't know at this point, but this is still interesting. Qi'ra makes a speech as she gets word from the Archivist that the key is in and it's all good. So she makes a speech to the other troops and she tells them Palpatine knows we're hunting him, so now he is hunting us. This day came sooner than she hoped, but it was inevitable. And because it was inevitable, she planned for it. And she has people all across the galaxy, in the Empire, in every syndicate and significant corporation, and every major world rebel alliance. Chaos for the Empire, anywhere we can create. I just gave them the order, and we're going to create chaos all across. Destruction, disruption, poison down the gauntlet Palpatine's machine. And while the Empire staggers, trying to set things right, we will prepare our master stroke, and all this will last in the end. Her empire is hidden, and she is ready to go all out, and this is where we end this issue of Star Wars Crimson Reign. I was expecting everything to be tied up and be some kind of conclusion here, but it's not. It's part of a trilogy of the Hidden Empire. And would I read the Hidden Empire? Yeah, I definitely would. I think I'll definitely check it out because this book left me wanting more. I was expecting more, that's why I want more. But I had a fun time reading it. As an average Star Wars fan, this was definitely enjoyable to me. Link in description if you wish to add this comic book to your comic book collection. With that being said, Star Wars Crimson Reign, issue number 5. What you guys think of the comic book? Comment below, let me know. And also, if you like the content we're throwing up, you know what to do. Don't be shy and don't be stingy. Here at Rated Comics, we do awesome comic book reviews, comic book related content with the occasional comic book giveaway. Thanks again for watching. Until next time.